Hello, everybody. I am Yolanda Harper, co-founder of Harper Therapy, and I am so excited today because we have Teresa Jennings here. Mm-hmm. And Teresa is an expert in pregnancy and postpartum well-being and care. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, because this is such an important topic, an important conversation, because a lot of times along the path of that journey through pregnancy and postpartum, understandably, like a lot of attention is focused on the baby and all of that kind of stuff. But it's a big, huge adjustment for families.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us, because you are a pregnancy and postpartum doula.
Correct.
What led you down that path to become a doula?
I've always had a passion for birth and the birth experience and journeys. But what recently really pushed me to do that was society is the way we view birth. Mm-hmm. And all the things that go with it. For example, it's been talked about that birth is not given to the person. The power of birth is not given to the person anymore. It's more of what my doctor said, what my provider said. And I just really wanted to give my clients the empowerment to speak up for themselves and own their birth experience, because at the end of the day, that's your baby and that's your body. So just giving the power back to the birthing person is very important to me.
Yeah.
Birth is not something that needs to be treated. It's something that happens normally. So just letting everybody know that birth happened well before there were hospitals, and birth will continue to happen, and it's a natural experience, and it's not something that should be embarrassing. It should be something that we, are excited about, and like, oh, I'm having a baby. It's an excitement. It's a beautiful journey, and I give that, back to my parents. Advocate for themselves, speak up. If something's wrong, ask questions.
Yeah.
So it's very important to me, just giving that person that voice to
the empowerment.
Right.
Yeah. And then also the support that is needed during that period of time, especially I would imagine for first time people who are journeying through
the first time. It's a long journey, and also letting them know that even though they're new parents, their opinions matter. Yeah. Like, of course, when you're a new parent, everybody wants to give their advice.
Sure, yeah.
I tell them, take what you need and toss the rest. Because we all have to learn on our journeys. And parenting is a trial and error. We make mistakes.
Yes.
And you won't learn unless you try.
Right. So you're going to make mistakes.
You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. So just being open and not, getting, oh, well, my mom said I should do this. It's your baby, your experience. You own it.
So again, empowerment through the parenting process.
Always empowering and giving it back to the parent.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited to share not only about your services through Creative Beginnings, right, which is your business where you provide doula services.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you do that more one-on-one or yourself with new families and during the pregnancy and postpartum journey. Right. But then you've recently started a postpartum support group as well. So Breathe In, Babies Out.
Right.
Yeah, postpartum support. Can you share a little bit how that got started and what happens during that group?
Okay, so what that is I partner with Denise McClure of Florida Power Yoga.
Yeah. And
I was trying to come up with something for the postpartum period, because everybody's always focused on the birth and the labor and all these things, but we forget about the healing process after the baby comes. So I want to find a way to include yoga. So what they do is we have a 6-week session. They'll come to yoga with Denise, and then after like a 45-minute session, they'll come in a room. We'll have a circle, and I provide tea, and we sit in an intimate circle. So it's not like I'm teaching them anything. We're just a support group.
The support.
And we discuss different topics like parenting your way, self-care, which is a big one for me. Self-care and why it's okay to be selfish about your self-care. And a big one, intimacy after the baby's born. That's something that's not talked about.
It's not.
And I leave it open. I'm not there to preach to them. I leave it open to the families to share what they want to share, at their comfort level.
Right.
And it's gone really well. The first session did go really well.
Yeah. And then you also touch on just another one of the things that we don't talk about, like maternal mental health and mental well-being after introducing an infant and newborn into the situation. The body's going through a lot of changes, a lot of hormonal changes, and then a lot of stress.
Absolutely. So just being kind to yourself and asking for help when you need it, and knowing the signs of postpartum depression. That's a big one, like knowing when something is not okay.
So how do you share that information with the groups? Like,
So
what are some of the tips and the highlights that you say, hey, pay attention to these things?
So the big thing is, are you taking care of yourself physically? Are you taking a shower? Are you eating properly?
That's the self-care that you talk about.
Yes,
right?
and are you... I know it's sometimes hard as a parent to ask for help because you want to do it all. But at some point you have to say, you know what, this is too much for me.
Yeah.
And looking at signs of, am I getting stressed out every time this baby cries? Am I just short with people that are talking to me? Or if I'm just feeling blue, like I just can't get myself together. Those are signs that we as people need to pay attention to, and our family members need to look for, because those are signs that something may be wrong. It could just be simple as you need somebody to talk to, or you just need to take a walk. But definitely don't ignore those signs.
Right, because they do build along a continuum, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's interesting that it's a blend between that self-care and, like, are you taking care of yourself in your physical body? Are you eating? Are you resting? Are you recognizing that all of us who go on this parenting journey need support, right?
Absolutely.
And along the way, our society has told us if you can't do it all on your own, then there's something wrong with you, right? You're doing it wrong.
Absolutely. And I do stress that, like, the moms, well, I feel bad if I ask for help. Well, why? Because just because you had a baby doesn't mean you're full of all this energy, and you just have all this. It's important that you know that outside of being a parent, you are still a person, and we all need personal care. So you shouldn't feel bad about asking for help.
And for a lot of us, that becoming a parent does become all-encompassing, and all of the other hats that we wear, so to speak, or go to the wayside, and we forget just our simple human needs.
Exactly.
And so a key component of that too is the intimacy factor when it's time for that to come back online and pretty soon, right? Because there's this relationship that was there before this baby was born, and part of one of the hats that you wear and the roles that you have is the relationship aspect.
Right, and also understanding that intimacy is more than just the sexual act. So it doesn't have to be, well, I'm on 6 weeks, so I gotta do this, I have to do that.
Right.
You have to be ready for that yourself. Because if you are not ready in yourself, you're not going to enjoy it. And it's going to be like, I'm doing this out of, I have to do it because I'm married or whatever the case may be. You should be comfortable with how you feel, and your body's changed, so of course things are different after you have a baby. So being okay with yourself and how you feel about your body is important, because I had mom say, well, I have to do this so my husband's happy. Well, let me tell you, that's not going to make him happy. If that's the issue, there was something long before that occurred, and you can't make another person happy. You guys can be happy together. So just knowing yourself and being comfortable in yourself is very important before you get to, I have to have sex at 6 weeks, because that's what they said. And
finding a new normal in your relationship.
Absolutely.
With the addition of this little being that you've had.
I mean, we have to be real. It's like, it's not the picture they paint on TV where you just have this baby and you just bounce back. And I mean, it's for a small amount of people that happens, but really, you have the leaky boobs. You're wearing those unsexy padded panties. It's like, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. So just being real with how it really is in the fourth trimester is important to people.
And people, we as a society, we are not as adept at having that conversation to say, you know what, it's normal to feel uncomfortable in your body, and to come to a process of, like, what is this body now? And it's breastfeeding can be hard for some people, right? It's a natural thing, but we're not used to doing it. So learning how to do that and being in relationship with your baby and all of those things, a lot during that fourth trimester.
Definitely.
So what do you wish that people did know most and foremost about that fourth trimester, that postpartum period?
The most important thing I would say is knowing that it's a healing process and it takes time, and there's no timetable. I know our jobs put a time limit on when our healing process is supposed to stop, but really you need at least a year to fully heal mentally, physically, emotionally. It's a lot that goes into having a baby and adjusting your life to this new person and schedule, and just all around dealing with the stress of it all. And I say this, and I'm joking sometimes I say this, but let's be real. When you have a new baby, they cry, and they're cute and all, but we can say babies get on our nerves.
Yeah,
because
it's
if
a
you
lot of
can't
work.
figure out what it is, so it's okay, I'm tired. It's okay to say, I'm tired, I need a break from this baby. You're not a bad person.
Right, totally.
It's a normal thing.
Right.
So just knowing that it's okay to say, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I need a moment.
Right.
And the healing process is important to you, your mind, to get it on the right track.
I know. I think you're right. It is so unrealistic to think that someone goes through a pregnancy for 9 months and somehow things are gonna immediately kind of pop back into a new normal within 6 weeks or whatever the
most of the times it's 6 weeks.
Yeah, whatever the time frame is that we've said.
Right, and getting to understand that when you had a baby, where that placenta pulled away is a big, essentially open wound. So that needs to heal. Yeah. So knowing, taking your time and just sitting down and just relax and resting is the truth. Sleep when baby sleeps.
It is interesting as a society how we don't recognize the importance of rest to restoration and recovery and healing and well-being. So rest. That's a big one.
Yes, rest. Definitely.
So is there anything else that you'd like to share about the benefits of having a doula during this journey, or the benefits of having the support in the 4th trimester?
The benefits of having a doula, either birth or postpartum, is just, well, one, for birth, it reduces medical interventions. It again always gives power back to the birthing person. Like, as a doula, I'm not there to tell you what you should do. I just give you information, let you decide for yourself what's best for you and your family, and that looks differently for every person.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just letting them know that I'm here to support them whatever they decide. I'm not here to put my values on you or anything like that. Just giving them evidence-based information so they can decide for themselves. And don't ever feel like if you don't do something that I suggest, I'm going to be upset with you.
Right.
That's your
You're
choice.
doing it wrong. Yeah.
Right, you're doing it wrong, because there's no one way to do anything.
Right.
You birth how you want to, because at the end of the day, you want to feel good about your birth experience. I say, well, I wish I had done that, but she told me not to do that. Right. You do what you feel is best for you and your family, and that's the biggest thing with birthing. But postpartum care is a new thing that we're really trying to stress, because again, everybody forgets about that. We're talking about pregnancy and the birth and all these things, and the baby this, the baby that, because the first thing you see when you go to, where's the baby? Well, hi, I'm doing fine.
Right, thanks for asking.
I'm doing great, And when people come to visit postpartum, give them a job. I don't need you to come in here and sit and hold the baby. I need you to wash those dishes, wash the bottles. I don't need you to come here and just stare at the baby, because the baby's obviously sleeping. So if you're going to come, I say, do something while you're here, and I'm not here to entertain you. Let them know that it's not entertainment. You come and you help out, and then you know your boundaries, and you leave.
Just put some boundaries around it.
Right, you have to put boundaries, because people would just come and just sit there. I need help. Tell them what you need.
Great. I love that. So Teresa's contact information is here on the description of this live, and you can get in touch with her to find out more about this whole beautiful journey of pregnancy and postpartum, and get the support that we need. This is why we have these conversations, so that we can recognize, wow, we are not alone in this, right?
Absolutely
we all could benefit from support.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
today.
having me.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a great Tuesday.